Good afternoon and welcome to RMU Live. I'm Colby Sherwin.
And I'm Austin Bechtel. Today is February 8th, 2021, and here's what's happening now.
Yesterday there were about 4,000 COVID-19 cases in Pennsylvania. There was also 71 deaths in Allegheny County, and they had 265 cases of COVID-19. According to the RMU dashboard, there are 15 students in isolation and 3 employees. There are also 25 students and 7 employees in quarantine. Individuals in isolation have tested positive for COVID-19. Individuals in quarantine have shown symptoms and are awaiting test results or have been exposed to an infected person. The numbers of people in isolation and quarantine include both those doing in-campus housing and off-campus housing, or in the case of the employees, in their homes.
There may soon be a third COVID-19 vaccine available in the U.S. Emergency authorization for the product sought as vaccine shortages remain a reality nationwide. John Lorenik reports.
Johnson & Johnson is asking the Food and Drug Administration for an emergency use authorization of its single-shot COVID-19 vaccine.
This could not come at a better time. Cases are dropping rapidly in the United States. The 7-day moving average for new cases is down 54% since its peak in January. Now is the time to put the fire out.
A group of experts will discuss the data at a meeting later this month. If J&J gets the okay from the full FDA, the vaccine goes to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, which will decide if the vaccine is safe for the general public and who should get it first.
This is the perfect vaccine for mass vaccination events where you don't really want to try and get people back.
The pharmaceutical giant says its vaccine is 85% effective at preventing hospitalizations and deaths in all of the areas where it was tested.
We obviously got to vaccinate more and more people, but this is significant development.
The U.S. has placed an order for 100 million doses, and Johnson & Johnson says it can deliver that amount by June. Health experts say mask wearing and other prevention efforts are still necessary, but there is room for some optimism.
When we get into the fall, late summer, I think we have a good chance of not saying normal, because I think that's a whole different term nowadays, but being in a much, much better position.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Thank you, John, for that report. Last night, the nation may have felt a sliver of life as we used to know it, as Americans watched the Super Bowl that many of us were not sure we'd even see this year. Nathan Breisinger is here to tell us more on how Super Bowl 55 went.
Thanks, Austin. Every Super Bowl matchup is unlike any other, but it's starting to feel like Groundhog Day on the first Sunday of every February. Although Tom Brady did not suit up for the New England Patriots this year, here he is marching into Tampa Bay to help the Buccaneers win their first Super Bowl since 2003. Brady now has 7 Super Bowl rings, more than any other franchise in NFL history. Brady continued to thrive on the biggest of stages in sports. The 43-year-old looked nearly half his age, making it look easy as he threw for 3 touchdowns in a 31-9 rout of the Kansas City Chiefs, earning the MVP. Out of the 6 players who factored into the score sheet for the Buccaneers in Super Bowl 55, none of them were on the roster last year for Tampa Bay. Leonard Fournette, Rob Gronkowski, and Antonio Brown all scored for the Buccaneers while they were on different teams just a year ago. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs' offense were shut down all night long as Mahomes threw 2 interceptions. Mahomes looked hopeless out there on the field. Brady once again took care of business in his 7th Super Bowl championship, but he's still striving for more. Let's send it back over to the desk. Austin?
Thank you, Nate. Robert Morris has been recognized as a school in the top 10% for non-traditional students. College Factual analyzed 2,186 schools to develop their 2021 rankings and ruled RMU as the 157th best school for returning adults. Some of the qualifications for the list are quality, affordability, and support to non-traditional students. Robert Morris also ranks 11th out of 86 four-year colleges in the state of Pennsylvania. RMU is looking to take care of student veterans with the Veterans Integration to Academic Leadership program. The program is working side by side with the university's counseling center and VA Pittsburgh Healthcare System suicide prevention team to aid in mental health with Operation SAVE. The training will help share the message of suicide prevention and teaching skills to help save lives that may be at risk. The virtual training will commence on February 10th from noon to 1 p.m. on Google Meets, with all interested parties able to learn more information by emailing hampel@rmu.edu.
With the NFL season coming to an end, you might be asking, what should I watch now?
Nathan Breisinger is back in our studio once again with the answer. Nate?
Well, sticking with the trend that we were just talking about, let's keep an eye on Robert Morris sports. While Super Bowl 55 took all the attention yesterday, just a few hours prior to kickoff, the Robert Morris men's lacrosse team took to the field for their first action of the season, taking on the #1 team in the nation in the Duke Blue Devils. The Colonials jumped out to a strong 5-1 lead in the first quarter, but the best team in the country would not be counted out as they scored 8 unanswered goals to give themselves just enough room they needed to outlast the feisty Colonials. Corson Keeley paced RMU with 4 goals in the 16-12 loss. Over the weekend, several other teams were in action, including the men's basketball team as they hosted the Youngstown State Penguins. Game 1 featured the dramatic as John Williams proceeded to hit a buzzer beater at the end of both halves, thus sending it into overtime where the Colonials would eventually fall 84-78. The second contest crumbled in the same way as the first. A late game-tying bucket by Cameron Wilbon sent it into overtime, but once again RMU could not finish on top, losing this one 70-66. While the men's team was looking for some home cooking, the women's team traveled to Michigan to take on Oakland. The Colonials once again struggled in both matchups, dropping each game, making them 13-11 on the season. Sul Castro scored a combined 25 points over the span of both games to lead the Colonials. Now over to the ice as the women's hockey team was also on the road, this time in State College to take on Penn State. Similar to women's basketball, the women's hockey team dropped both games by the scores of 2-1 and 4-2 respectively. On the weekend, Reagan Kirk made 53 saves on 59 shots. At home on Neville Island in a late week two-game series, the men's hockey team faced off with Long Island University. The Colonials handled the upstart program rather easily with a 4-1 victory on Thursday and a 4-0 win on Friday. In Friday's contest, Noah West made 28 saves to record his first collegiate shutout. RMU improves to 14-5 after completing their last of their non-conference schedule. That's all I have for sports for now. Let's send it back over to the desk.
Thank you, Nate. Montreal Cultural Student Services is celebrating Black History Month throughout the whole month of February. The group is hosting a Connected Together event featuring Black Girls Rock, R&B Bingo, and Daughter of the Boycott book discussion with watching Netflix movies as well as a Kahoot night. A list of past and upcoming events can be found on Revolution under Connected Together. The My Health Fat Health Facts equals Heart Healthy Lunch and Learn event takes place on February 9th. The event will be held virtually from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Calendar invitations will be sent out, so be on the lookout. More than 36,000 UPMC patients may have had their personal data leaked after a data breach at a company providing billing-related legal services. The information that was leaked includes social security numbers, birth dates, bank or financial account numbers, and driver's license. Patients are asked to monitor their accounts for suspicious activities and report it immediately to their insurance companies, healthcare providers, or bank or credit card companies. If you have any questions or concerns, you are asked to call 888-724-08 or 0238.
Police are investigating after a person was found dead Saturday night in Newcastle. Police say it happened in an alley near Marshall Avenue. Police have not released the name of the victim. Anyone with information is asked to call Newcastle Police. After almost a year and a half on the run from the FBI, one of Chicago's most wanted drug traffickers has been found in Pittsburgh Highland Park neighborhood. Police say 25-year-old Randall Langston, who was using the name Chicago while in contact with a police criminal informant, was planning to sell 50 bricks of heroin to the informant before police converged on him. Chicago was later identified as Langston, as he had a fugitive warrant out for his arrest from the Chicago FBI office. He was charged with multiple charges, including receiving stolen property and possession with intent to deliver.
VA Pittsburgh officials lowered the age requirements for the COVID-19 vaccination clinic to veterans 55 and older. VA Pittsburgh Healthcare System Director Don Kinn said, quote, "We were doing so well about midday, we sent out that if there were veterans in the area age over 55, we would squeeze you in today," end quote.
A woman has died and a second left in critical condition after a crash alongside Sawmill Run Boulevard around 11:20 p.m. Saturday night. 26-year-old Catherine Barvelchak died on the scene of a single vehicle crash occurring due to the the car hitting a utility pole. Another woman in the vehicle was taken to the hospital after paramedics arrived on the scene. A multi-vehicle crash on Interstate 70 in Washington County injured several people early Saturday morning near Bell Vernon along the Spears Bridge. The eastbound lanes were temporarily closed as one person was trapped in their vehicle and multiple others needed paramedic attention. 3 occupants were transported to the hospital by paramedics, with 2 additional people being airlifted by medical helicopter. The status of those injured in the pileup is not yet known.
It appears that the snowfall from last week has not melted yet.
We're going to send it over to John Blinn to tell us if it's expected to change today. John?
So thank you, Austin. And as you and Colby were saying, we have seen some snow here at Robert Morris University and around our surrounding location. So if you have your frying pans and your pan, feel free to head out after class today and get some sled riding in. And it's going to be a good day to do it because surprisingly enough, it is not too cold. We're looking at a high of 32 degrees today, right there at the freezing point, and a low of 22 degrees. Right now, the humidity is at 90%. And as you've been able to tell by being outside today, the chance of precipitation is 91%. So we're expecting to see continuous snow throughout the day. And if you look at our hourly forecast, you're going to see temperatures gradually start to go down. At 3 p.m. today, we're looking at 32 degrees. At 6 p.m., just going down 1 degree, 31 degrees. And by 9 p.m. tonight, you could see 30 degrees Fahrenheit outside. So you can have that sledding wrapped up by 9 p.m. as it gradually starts to get a little bit colder. Moving on now to tomorrow's forecast. It's going to be a little bit colder than today, sort of seeing those gradual temperatures going down from earlier today carry into tomorrow with a high of 28 degrees and a low of, again, 22 degrees. We're going to see our snow die down as the chance of precipitation drops to 20%, and the humidity is going to drop down to 70% as well. So you can stay tuned with us at RMU-TV, and we will be back later for a full look at the week's weather, and we will see you later. Stay tuned. Back to the desk with Austin and Colby.
Thank you, John. The Allegheny County Health Department has shut down 2 local businesses due to not being up to department code. Donahue's on Fairfield Avenue in Beachview and Katie's Cakes in Munhall were ordered to shut their doors for being operated without a valid health permit. The health department will be updated, their website will be updated when the business closure orders are removed. Coming up after the break, Pittsburgh Public Schools are celebrating Black History Month in a new way.
Stay with us here on RMU Live.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made her college years happen. Opening that education savings account when she was little. Spearheading a campus tour. And another, and another, and another, and another. Bam! Deciphering financial aid. She was like, what? Well, now she's like, you aced planning for college. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Jason, let's go see your room.
That's not right. How was it? Is it good?
Things could be stranger, but I don't know how. I'm going through changes now. Could spend a lifetime trying to figure it out. I'm going through changes, through all of the strangeness. I'm going through changes now.
Welcome back to RMU Live. The FBI raided the home of Rachel Powell, a Mercer County mother of 8, suspected of playing a role in the assault of the U.S. Capitol. Agents stormed the vacant house Thursday, searching for any evidence to help build a case against Powell, and any clues that indicate where she may have gone. Neighbors say Powell and some of her younger children have not been seen for a week. More are apparently in hiding in an unknown location. At least 189 people are now facing charges related to the Capitol insurrection last month. Among them is a self-sustained dating coach from New York who ranted about the conspiracy theory about his hatred of women. As CNN's Alex Marquardt has that story.
In the violent mob that stormed the Capitol building on January 6th, the FBI says was Samuel Fisher from New York, a self-described dating coach who goes by the name Brad Holiday, with a website that offers a misogynistic and darkly conspiratorial mix of countless posts ranging from wild political rants to supposed self-help tips and fitness, sex, fashion, and more.
You should be able to, learn various black magic hypnosis skills.
His tirades and views of women indicate a deep-seated resentment of the political system and of the opposite sex. Grievances on full display while presenting a macho, chauvinist front seen in many of the insurrectionists that day. Court documents show photos from Fisher's Facebook page, including one that the FBI believes was taken on the steps of the Capitol. On his Facebook account, the FBI says Fisher wrote about January 6th. It was dangerous and violent. People died, he wrote. But it was effing great, if you ask me. Seeing cops literally run was the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. Another photo from court documents shows Fisher in front of a Trump flag with different weapons and the menacing caption, "Can't wait to bring a liberal back to this freedom palace." On January 6th, Fisher had, according to the FBI, written, "Gotta make a stand, not gonna be intimidated," and then posted this picture of a rifle and a pistol. He wrote that he expected Trump to play an ace card, with the deep state arrested and hanged on the White House lawn. Or, he writes, if Biden takes over, patriots show up in the millions with guns. They execute all treasonous members of government. Fisher now faces 2 federal charges: unlawful entry of and disorderly conduct on restricted grounds. On his website, Fisher was trying to sell what he calls an attraction accelerator, a trove of digital tutorials on workouts, boosting testosterone, beauty products, handling guns, and seducing women with, among other things, a hypnotic gaze and so-called porn star sex games. At the same time, he calls women the least trustworthy people on the whole I have ever met in my life.
If a girl's so hot you can't tell her to shut the up when she's talking nonsense, you have a real problem, dude.
Over in the political section, Fisher posted twisted, baseless conspiracy theories and wrote on January 6th that he expected to be betrayed by Congress, that it would be the most historically important day of our lives. After the insurrection, he posted this video about House Speaker Nancy Pelosi.
Some dude sat behind your desk. Oh, I'm so sorry. That sounds really tough.
The New York Times reports that Fisher grew up in New Jersey and said he was estranged from his family, born Jewish, but was known to post anti-Semitic articles and videos. People who know Fisher told the Times that he said he was bullied as a child and that 3 years ago, after reportedly posting online about the mother of his child leaving him, Fisher started drifting toward conspiracy theories.
We did reach out to Fisher's lawyer, but got no response. Fisher was arrested 2 weeks after the insurrection. He has had a hearing already in which his lawyer said that he would not be pleading guilty, but so far, Fisher has not yet entered a plea. Alex Marquardt, CNN, Washington.
Thank you, Alex, for that report. Essential workers and managing full-time e-learning parents are being honored by the Pittsburgh Public Schools as a part of Black History Month. Jamila Brown, a parent of 2 working in respiratory care at UPMC Presby, and Don Miguel Watson Ellis, Sr., a Port Authority bus driver who has 2 children currently in PPS and 2 who have previously graduated, were the first parents recognized. PPS Superintendent Dr. Anthony Hamlet stated in a release, quote, "This Black History Month campaign will show the city that there are heroes right in our own backyard, and we salute them," unquote. Congratulations to those 2. Pennsylvania Senator Pat Toomey is speaking out on the first few weeks of the Joe Biden presidency. During an interview with CNN's Jake Tapper, Toomey discussed his disagreement with the Biden administration's plan to pass a new COVID relief bill without the backing of Republicans. Toomey talked about how trillions of dollars are being spent, but some of it must go to help the restaurant and hospitality industry. He also stated that Biden was, quote, governing from the hard left, unquote, despite, quote, speeches about unity, end quote. Toomey also said he thinks it is unlikely that former President Trump is impeached by his fellow Republicans.
When we come back, Nate is back to tell us everything Pittsburgh sports.
Stay with us here on RMU Live.
Roll over. Chance high five. All right.
When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique.
And your mother and...
I am totally a hot person. Right, guys? Thanks for being honest. They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love. Adopt pure love at theshelterpetproject.org.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here. Wait. What? I can't drive. Why? My. Oh.
Stem is precise, no margin for error.
Dare to forget that. Dare to have fun with it. Get weird with it. Dare to send those old STEM theories flying past the neighbor's house into outer space. Dare to program something internet-breaking, record-breaking. Dare to blow their minds. Dare to learn the difference between sedimentary and metamorphic rock. Go find those rocks. Dare to keep daring. Dare to STEM. Check out She Can STEM to get started.
Welcome back to RMU Live. Nate is back in the sports studio to fill us in all things Pittsburgh sports. Nate?
Thanks, Colby. Continuing the NFL discussion, on Saturday, the league honored their award winners from the 2020 season. In Pittsburgh, the biggest controversy came when Aaron Donald won the Defensive Player of the Year. With this year's award, the Penn Hills native and former University of Pittsburgh great Donald earned his third of his career. The Rams defensive tackle edged out T.J. Watt from winning his first Defensive Player of the Year award. Many speculated the honor as Watt recorded better numbers on the season compared to Donald. The Steelers' edge rusher had 53 tackles, 15 sacks, 23 tackles for loss, and 1 interception, all more than Donald. While Watt statistically had a better season, Donald was subject to double and triple teams all year, thus making him, in the eyes of the NFL, the best defensive player during the 2020 season. Also revealed during the award ceremony on Saturday was the 2021 Pro Football Hall of Fame class. 2 Steelers icons were selected for the class as Alan Faneca and Bill Nunn received the honors this year. Faneca spent 10 seasons with the Steelers where he aided in 7 1,000-yard rushing performances from Jerome Bettis and Willie Parker. Faneca was awarded his gold jacket after being a 6-time first-team All-Pro, as well as being named to the 2000s All-Decade team. As for Nunn, he spent 45 seasons with the Steelers organization as he was a massive part in the making of the 1970s Pittsburgh dynasty. Nunn helped scout players like Mel Blount, John Stallworth, and Jack Lambert. The Steelers now have 29 former members in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Switching over from football, let's talk about some hockey, as the Pittsburgh Penguins were in action on Saturday night in another back-and-forth affair, but the Pens fell 4-3 in the end to the New York Islanders. Rookie Pierre-Olivier Joseph recorded his first career goal in the loss, as the Pens hope for more production out of the rookie in the future. The Penguins have also seen some schedule changes in the past week as their games with the New Jersey Devils last week were postponed, and tomorrow's game was also set back as 17 Devils players are on the COVID protocols list. That's all the sports I have for now. Let's send it back over to the desk.
Thank you, Nate. TJ Watt didn't win this year, but his time is coming. The number of drug overdose deaths has risen to record levels during the pandemic, according to the CDC. Since time is critical during an overdose, the American Red Cross is urging everyone to know the signs of an overdose and how to help. Mandy Gaither has more in today's Health Minute.
In the 12 months ending in May 2020, there were more than 81,000 drug overdose deaths in the U.S., the highest number ever recorded in that time period, according to the CDC. While those numbers were growing before COVID-19, the latest data suggests a rapid rise in overdose deaths during the pandemic.
a decrease in access to healthcare resources, including substance abuse resources and mental health resources, I think has put a lot of people at risk for overdose.
Synthetic opioids appear to be the primary driver of those increases, and recognizing the signs of opioid overdoses is critical, says Dr. Nathan Charlton, a medical toxicologist at the University of Virginia Health System.
Those cause you to be very, very sleepy. And so this person could be extremely poorly responsive to you, so not waking up, or even completely unresponsive.
The American Red Cross offers an online course showing what to do during a suspected opioid overdose. First, call 911. If the person is unresponsive, start CPR if you know it. Another recommendation, if a loved one is suffering from a substance abuse disorder, consider having life-saving naloxone on hand.
Naloxone is a prescription drug, but most areas have laws that allow it to be available to the public.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Thanks, Mandy. The American Red Cross online course is called First Aid for Opioids. It's geared towards the general public and can be found on their website, redcross-.org. The course costs $11.
In celebration of Black History Month, the Pittsburgh Pirates will offer the Long Live Their Legacy program, a community relations incentive promoting the history of the Negro Leagues. The program, which in previous years has been traveling in person, presenting made available to Pittsburgh area schools and community groups throughout February, has been adjusted this year due to COVID-19 restrictions. This year, the Pirates will make the presentation a virtual experience to ensure educational incentives can still reach young people throughout the region. For the first time ever, Pittsburgh fans can buy official Negro League baseball merchandise at Dick's Sporting Goods. Dick's is offering a collection of official Pittsburgh Crawfords gear and in-store selection in Pittsburgh locations and online. The collection includes hats, sweatshirts, flags, and t-shirts. It will feature the Crawfords and other Negro League clubs, including the Homestead Grays, who the Pirates have honored in the past with an alternate uniform.
When we come back, John Blinn is back to give us this week's weather.
Stay with us on RMU Live.
Hey, Dad, I need your help asking Jessica to prom.
Of course. Love is like the ocean. You have to tread the
Oh,
waters.
Dad, that's not the kind of help I needed. Hey, Jessica. Will you go to prom with me?
Yes.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care can't wait to share their first with you.
Let me tell you about the toughest guy on earth. He has the crazy strength to lift the man that raised him up without even flinching. This guy, this warrior, will always be by his father's side, even if his dad will hardly remember. If this guy isn't the toughest guy on the planet, then I don't know who is. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies. Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
Hey Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry, I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Thank you again, guys. And just to reinstate what we were talking about earlier, tomorrow's forecast, again, you're going to see 30 degrees as your high, dropping all the way down to 14 degrees as your low, a chance of snow with 70% for your chance of precipitation, and your humidity is 76%. But we're going to take a look here now at the full weather forecast. So Wednesday, again, like I mentioned earlier, you could see more snow later on in this week, and it's looking like we're going to see some of that on Wednesday, your high being 26 degrees there, low of 20 degrees. And then it's just going to be cloudy there on Thursday, which really looks like it's going to be the only break from snow that we're going to get that week. High of 28 degrees and a low of 19 degrees. And we progressively get colder with more snow for the rest of the week. And as you can see on Sunday, the low could even reach 0 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's looking like it's going to be a fairly chilly, fairly snowy week. So be sure to prepare for that. Get your heavy jackets out and get ready to, hey, maybe go have more sled riding time. We will see you next week, and we're going to send it back to the desk with Colby and Austin.